And I want to take you on the tour of the town of Shelbyville. Oh, I know you know Shelbyville like the back of your hand, but you know how things keep changing. Maybe one day you'll look back and want to see how things looked in Shelbyville during the Bicentennial year, what the town looked like. We're going to talk to some of the people who helped run the town and who helped protect it. We'll be talking to some of the people who have a story to tell and some who just want to say hi. We'll show you some of the businesses in Shelbyville and the people who run them. In short, this is a film about a town and a film about the people.
There it is. That's Shelbyville down there, covering almost 6 square miles. We'll be landing in just a little while, and I'll show you some of the reasons why more than 15,000 people call Shelbyville their home. would seem that a tour of the city should start here at City Hall. Many of the people who help run the business of Shelbyville are found right here.
Clerk Treasurer's office is located here, along with the sewage, utility, street, city plan commission, and police departments, and the city council chambers. And up on the second floor, the office of Mayor Ezra Degley of Shelbyville.
I'm Ezra Dagley, Mayor of Shelbyville. I was elected in November and took office in January 1 of 1976.
Mayor, have you ever held an elected office before?
No, Mark, I've never held an elected office before. However, I did serve 20 years on the Shelbyville Police Department, and I held the office of Chief of Police under the Elmer McNay administration.
What are some of your duties as mayor of Shelbyville?
Mark, I see the duties of the mayor as being an administrator, a leader, and a salesman.
You say a salesman, selling ideas to the people, Ezra?
Right. I feel that the mayor has to be able to sell the city to business and industry to attract new ones. Also, he has to sell his programs to the citizens of Shelbyville and to the council.
What does Shelbyville have to offer for new industry?
Well, at the present time, we have some good sites, land in the surrounding area around Shelbyville for business and industry. And we also, at the present time, have the facilities, the water and sewage, which run through these areas, which would make it attractive to new business and industry.
You mentioned the city council. What is their function in city business?
The city council, they appropriate money for the budgets for the different departments, for the entire city, really. And also they pass on ordinances and resolutions. And I preside over this council. We'll stand for the reading of the prayer by Councilman.
These are the city council members, including Marilyn Hendrick. Marilyn is the first woman ever to serve on the Shelbyville City Council. This council meets once a month, and the meetings are open to the public. Sometimes when the council's business is of particular interest, these chambers are filled with interested citizens. One of the most important functions of the council is to appropriate funds for the various city departments. One very important department is that of the city police. To find out about that department, we talked to the man in charge.
We're talking now with the Shelbyville Chief of Police, Bob Williams. Bob, how are you?
Fine, how are you, Mark?
All right, nice to have you with us. How long have you been chief here at the Shelbyville Police Department?
4.5 years.
And how long have you been with the force?
11 years.
Have you lived in Shelbyville all your life?
Yes, I have.
So you're familiar with your base of operation then?
I should hope so.
How big is the force?
25 men.
25 men. In the 11 years since you've been on the force, has crime changed much? The different particular crimes you fight?
Not really, the crimes haven't changed. The way that they perform the crimes has. They've become more sophisticated in the equipment that they use. They've got alarm detection devices now and pocket scanners and things like this.
Which particular crime do you find the most time consuming?
The common everyday theft is more time consuming because there's more of them and they're harder to track down.
Technology, I imagine, has expanded greatly in the last several years. Could you show us a few different items?
Yes, I'd be glad to.
Okay, fine.
This is our portable rechargeable videotape recorder. It's an Akai VT100 with a VC100 camera. The tapes are storable so that we can use them for future criminal prosecutions. We use these for recording crime scenes and crimes in progress. To the left of it is a rechargeable flashlight. It's a Yardney Mark 60 with 60,000 candle power. We also have a rechargeable flashlight which is 1 million candle power. This is the radio room of the Shelbyville Police Department. This is a 24-hour recorder that records all the telephone calls and all of the radio traffic that is heard in the Shelbyville Police Department Communications Center. The computer terminal located in the communication room is linked to the National Crime Information Center in Washington, D.C., and also the Indiana State Police computer terminal in Indianapolis, where the police can get instant checks on persons who might be wanted anywhere in the United States, and also on stolen property that may be stolen from anywhere in the United States, and can get the answer back within seconds. It is also hooked up to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles computer bank in Indianapolis, which you see the operator entering a driver by their Social Security number only. The answer will come back within seconds, giving the driver's name, address, and other information about possible violations and current driver's license status.
The result of the readout is the driver has a clear status and a valid driver's license. The name is Samir Harris.
The Communication Control Center, which you see, gives the operator communication with the police department, the fire department, the sheriff's department, the street department, and other police agencies.
Most emergency calls come here to the police dispatcher, and the appropriate department is advised of its need. Help is on its way very quickly. Our emergency ambulance is based at Fire Station Number 2, which is on the east side of the city. When an emergency arises at some distant point from that base, it takes a few minutes for the emergency people to get to the scene. Our police cars are always in motion on the streets of Shelbyville, and very often are near an accident scene. That enables them to reach the problem before Unit 10 can. Our police are trained in first aid and are able to give life-saving assistance until Unit 10 arrives with its up-to-date equipment and a crew well trained for its use. Fortunately, we have fewer accidents than many cities our size, but it's hard to imagine what it would be like not to have professionals like these when you need them most. Of all emergencies, a fire seems to demand the most and immediate attention. This department has 2 well-equipped fire stations, and the stations are manned by men with experience and know how to fight fires. We asked Fire Chief Wayne Williamson to give us some little-known facts about his department.
Shelbyville Fire Department is made up of 21 men and the chief. These men are divided, 7 on a shift, 5 at number 1 station, and there's 2 at number 2 station. These men work 24 hours on duty, and they're off 48 hours. Recently, the Shelbyville Fire Department as well as the City of Shelbyville Police Department have installed which we feel like is a great safety factor in this 911, which is only 3 digits can be dialed on the telephone, and you can get the police department, the emergency ambulance, or the fire department. We feel that in this way that is a great service to all the citizens of Shelbyville, and anyone on the 392 or the 398 digit numbers can use this very effectively. Now, one thing about this, if there's any prank calls or any calls of this type, harassment calls, why they can be tied in. They push a hold button over the police station, and we can trace it right back. And anyone give it this misdemeanor, why we can trace it back and have it take care of it. This is, we feel, greatly a aspect in relation to dialing 3 numbers against 7 numbers, which we had to dial 4. Is a great improvement in decreasing the time involved in dialing the number. Actually, at the police station, they have a button that if you want to call in and say you want the emergency unit, for example, the ambulance, all they do is push in and you talk directly to them. Same way with the police or with the fire department. So actually, we are getting our information firsthand, where before it was relayed on through different channels. This way, we feel like it's more effective, and we know what we're getting into as well as emergency and police when they get there.
It is seldom that we have a truly disastrous fire in Shelbyville, but we asked Chief Williamson about one that was.
Explosions that did happen at this fire. This fire was of great magnitude, if anyone's there and knows it. Very lucky that no one was injured or hurt or killed in this fire. The personnel on duty was a second shift. If I remember right, there were 7 men on duty at the time, and we responded with all equipment, and practically all the men on duty and off duty responded to this fire. Also in this fire, if you were there, you noticed that the snorkel was set up and threw a terrific stream of water on this fire, as well as we had a deluge set up, and all men were very busy at the time. This was back, if I remember right, the correct date on this was about February the 8th. We was injured in this fire. He received a broken leg. Actually, that's the fire was knocked down. A metal beam fell on him, and had a broken leg, as I said, and he was taken to the hospital. This fellow is still off duty, recovering from this at this present time, and but we do expect him back soon, possibly to help on when we get started on inspection and so forth. Delbert Daniels, he's a relatively new man on the, and he was actually the only injury that we had. We were very lucky in controlling this fire. Of course, it helped a lot by the tight construction of the building, being cement.
Perhaps not as dramatic as some of the other departments we've looked, our street department is nonetheless a very important one. Shelbyville has 78 miles of streets to be repaired, cleaned, maintained, and sometimes rebuilt completely. The people in this department are kept so busy with the everyday needs of street cleaning and repairing and a host of other things that they cannot do complete street rebuilding. When this has to be done, the city has to rely on private contractors to do the job.
I'm Bill Coffey with the president of the Coffey Brothers Excavating Company. We've been doing work for the city of Shelbyville for about 30 years, street and sewer work. And this project that we're on here on 7th Street, Jim Anderson, he's a general contractor on the job, and we've been hired by Jim Anderson Construction Company as a general contractor. We work together on these jobs. We just got through at McKay Road, and now we're down here on 7th, resurfacing this. Then we're going from here over on East Broadway. We've got about 700 or 800 feet of new sidewalks, a new street to go in over there.
It is obvious that the city has the responsibility for many very important and serious functions. Recreation is also very important, and one of the ways this need is met is through the Parks Department. Major parks within the city limits that are equipped with playground equipment, picnic facilities, One even has a band shell, and they all feature ball diamonds. Each summer, the Parks Department sets up various programs to interest the younger people. One of the most popular programs is softball, and one sometimes gets the idea that the adults enjoy these ball games as much or maybe even more than the youngsters.
Come on, Jenkins, take your time.
Wait on the Jenkins. Make him get it over the plate to you.
Take your time, Jenkins.
Make him get it over the plate to you.
Nice pitch, right there. Nice pitch.
Some adults aren't satisfied just watching the youngsters play. They play the game too. For many years, Shelbyville has had adult teams, and the passion for the sport never seems to lessen. On a warm summer day, you can almost depend on finding someone playing softball and someone watching. Youngsters have a way of enjoying themselves any time of the year, but just about any red-blooded American kid will tell you that summer is the best time of all. When the sun is bright and the temperature is hot, that's Porter Pool time for a lot of Shelbyville kids.
Hilltop. I manage the Porter Pool. I've worked here for 28 years, and this is my 13th year managing the pool. So I've seen an awful lot of kids grow up around here. In fact, right now we're seeing the children, and some of them I saw when I first came here 28 years ago. And right now we have a lot more younger ones coming to the pool than we used to. When I first came here, there weren't any young ones at all coming to the pool. They were mostly the older ones. The younger ones didn't know how to swim. And back in the early 50s, we began to learn the swim program, co-sponsored with the Red Cross, and we've been running that every year, and that's built up so we have all these younger ones swim around here all the time.
Is this swimming pool under the park?
This is under the Park and Recreation Department. Of course, our money furnished to the city project, one of our city projects, and was donated by Enid Porter to be used in the swimming pool for here and to give a lot of fun to all the children and adults around here.
This is the old Charles Major Elementary. It was built in 1922 and was in continuous use as a grade school until 1972. That was when it was retired as a grade school. The children who would normally go here now go to Colston School. That same year, kindergarten classes were moved from the junior high building into this one. Public elementary schools as well as one parochial within the city limits of Shelbyville. There is a total of 1,554 students enrolled in the elementary public schools, and 62 teachers conduct these classes. That's a teacher-pupil ratio of 1 teacher to 22 students.
What is your name now?
John Douglas Morgan.
What grade you in?
Fifth.
What's the boy's name? What's your name?
Ruth.
Bruce who?
These children are attending the Laura Pearson School, located on Colescott Street. This school was built in 1938 and was known as the Colescott School until 1958. That's when it was renamed the Laura Pearson School in honor of Laura B. Pearson, who was principal here for 32 years. The Thomas A. Hendricks Elementary School is located on West Taylor Street. It was built to serve families on the far west side of Shelbyville and has been in continuous service since 1929. The school is named after a vice president. St. Joseph Catholic School, a parochial school within the city limits of Shelbyville. The original school began in 1876. The school building that you see here was built in 1922, and until about 1938 had all 12 grades. After discontinuing high school, children could still go to 8th grade here until 1969. That's when 7th and 8th grades were also discontinued. Now, grades 1 through 6 are taught here, as well as kindergarten. Addison Township School was built in 1927 and was now within the boundaries of Shelbyville for many years. Due to the growing population of the county, it was necessary to build an addition to the school in 1952. Shelbyville was on the move too. As it continued, the city limits moved out, taking in additional areas. In 1965, Addison Township School became a part of the Shelbyville Central School System. Built in 1956, Colson is one of our newer schools. Aside from the fact that it is a modern building with very good facilities, it is set in a country-like area with plenty of room for that universally loved part of school, recess. All of our schools in Shelbyville rate very high in education, due in part to many activities other than normal studies that are very interesting to many students. All of our schools have sports programs, school fairs, plays, and many other things to inspire youngsters to work hard at something of interest to them. One of the most unusual projects undertaken by any school for a long time took the Loper Elementary School. They embarked upon a very ambitious project of creating a time capsule for the Bicentennial.
The Bicentennial observances in Shelby County has been the bearing of a time capsule here at Loper Elementary School here in Shelbyville. And the teacher here in the 6th grade of the class that has been sponsoring the time capsule is Mrs. Joanne Gardner. Nice to talk with you.
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
And I imagine this is something that will be remembered for quite some time.
We hope so. We've made a lot of plans. It's been going on since February, and we've done a lot of work and had a lot of fun with it.
That's when you first got the idea for doing this.
That's right. In February the 19th, to be exact. 3 o'clock in the morning, Mark.
And then, of course, when we look back, the date that you buried the time capsule was?
May 5th, 1976.
So within a period of about 90 days, you got the whole project done. That's quite a big undertaking.
Yes, it is. We have really had a lot to do.
I imagine a lot of people were responsible in part for getting the project completed.
Yes, people from all over the city have helped us, and the children, of course, have just been wonderful, and the teachers and the students here at Loper School. And by the way, I'd like to introduce my principal, Mrs. Thelma Spanbauer.
Hello.
How do you do?
How are you today?
I'm very happy to meet you, and I'm fine.
Imagine you must be proud of your class here and your teacher, Mrs. Gardner.
I'm very proud of both of them, both the teacher and the students. They've worked very hard on this project. I think it's one of the finest things I've seen done in this area for the Bicentennial.
And I imagine one of the highlights of your career.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Thelma Spanbauer, Loper Elementary Principal, and Mrs. Joanne Gardner. Now, let's see who the students are at Loper Elementary School who have been involved in this Bicentennial project.
Tim Staker. Dave Passwater.
Jason Carmine.
Brian Kurt.
Bruce Carpenter.
Kim Rubus.
Denise Lawson. Jeannie Russell. Amy Moore.
Dean Eversole.
Jim Miles.
Jamie Anderson.
Marsha Wilson.
Keith Pitcock.
Mark Kors.
Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers.
Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby Jeffers. Dennis Hicks. Bobby
These people are members of the Blue River Vocational School. They were responsible for the construction of the time capsule. Few things have caught the interest of so many people as has our country's 200th birthday, and this time capsule is very much a part of that celebration. Nearly every public official of Shelbyville has participated in this project at one time or another, and in spite of the fact that this is one of the most uncomfortable and windy days of the spring of 1976, many of them are right here today. It's doubtful that anyone here today will ever forget this event, and no doubt those who opened the capsule in the year 2076 will know much about those of us who are here today.
Your day.
Manpower, Mrs. Gardner, Superintendent Hayes, Dr. Sharp, Reverend Wilson, distinguished guests, visitors, boys and girls. At the outset, I would like to say when we were singing there, I noticed that everyone was out of key but me. So, I imagine that in your minds, you've been wondering what reaction there would be in the year of 2076 when this capsule is open and 100 years has passed. And the items in here are reviewed by the persons that are present at that. It is very unlikely that anyone in this audience will be around for the opening of the capsule. So,
here's the school superintendent, John Hayes.
Students of Loper School, Mrs. Gardner, Mrs. Spanbauer, and honored guests. In Mrs. Spanbauer's introduction, she said that I didn't realize the immensity of the project, but I think those of you that are sixth graders remember that it was first described as being about 4 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. That's not really immense. The project didn't grow that way. I wish to thank you for the honor and the opportunity to be a part of this exciting Bicentennial project. The project is captured and it's taken a great team effort to bring this project to this point today.
Weighed 300 pounds and was 1/2 inch thick. By this time, we had started to receive replies to our letters, and on March 1st, the fire chief, Wayne Williamson, delivered the first item for our capsule, a booklet called 50 Years with the Shelbyville Fire Department. Dr. Donald Strobel came on March 3rd and talked with our class. On the second trip to the Blue River Center, on March 4th, Mr. Reynolds showed us the capsule, turned away from the wall with a blowtorch. It had been banked since 1896. Mrs. Marcel Janess, owner of the Jones Monument Company, donated the monument with the engraving.
And after many months of hard work and planning, the first part of a worthwhile project comes to a conclusion. The efforts of all of those involved will undoubtedly delight another generation of Americans who may be much different in many ways than we are, but Americans just the same. Until 1910, high school classes were held in what is now our administration building. In 1910, this school was built to accommodate both junior and senior high school students. It was one of the most up-to-date buildings of its kind and continued to serve as the high school until our present senior high school was built. The last senior high school class to graduate from here was in 1956. That's when the new high school opened on South Miller Street in Shelbyville. At that time, this building began to be used for junior high use only. There are now more than 750 7th and 8th grade students attending classes here using all of the available space. Are those sounds familiar? An awful lot of Hoosier hysteria has taken place right here. When senior high was still located here, Hall Cross Gymnasium was the scene of some memorable basketball games. This gym has looked like this for many years and has offered some changes in the building in the very near future. This is Shelbyville High School as we know it today. There are more than 1,375 students here. Among its many outstanding features is the very modern William Garrett Gymnasium that can seat 5,823 people, and the J.W. O'Brake Auditorium, the seating capacity of 1,100. When springtime arrives at Shelbyville High, students and teachers alike start thinking about the famous and popular festival. For 53 years now, people have been attending this annual event, the highlight of which is the Lord Mayor crowning the Queen of the May. The Lord Mayor is chosen for maintaining the highest grade average for 7 semesters, and the Queen is elected by the students from the 10th, 11th, and 12th grades.
Hear ye, I, Scott David Ferson, Lord Mayor, by the virtue of the power vested in me by the student body of Shelbyville High School, do, on this 6th day of May, 1976, crown you, Darrell, Queen of the May.
After the crowning, you can depend on some very entertainment put on by the students. When May Festival time rolls around, can graduation be far behind? As many folks know, graduation gets here before you know it. It's one of the most exciting and important things that we ever can do. There are 125 people in this 1976 graduating class, and this is the 104th time these exercises have been held.